Well, hello, fellow YouTubers and everyone else out there in YouTube land. So, I am here to do a book/movie review. And before I get into this review, I just want to say that I understand. I truly understand that some people just don't understand. Unless you have a big family, kids, siblings, you know, it's hard to understand how you could enjoy something, love something, and at the same time, it can drive you absolutely crazy. It can even annoy you sometimes. But that's just part of love. So, what am I here to review? Well, Mockingjay, of course. So, before I get into that, look at this poster I found. I don't know if you can see it. It's like from the first movie. See? Movie poster? I got this for $2. Literally, $2. That is why thrifting is awesome. Okay? Like, I don't get people who put down people who like shop at thrift stores. I've seen it and everything. It's like, dude, poster for $2. Like, even at Walmart, they're like 4 or 5. Right? You can't beat that. But on to the review now. So, Mockingjay isn't people's favorite out of the series. I'm not even sure if it's. I mean, the movies are still pretty new. I'm not sure if it's even people's favorite movie out of the series. But here's my thoughts on it. For me, it's my least favorite too. Movie-wise, it kind of depends on the mood I'm in. Book-wise, it is my least favorite. I pretty much like the series actually in order, but it depends again on my mood and what I'm thinking about and everything. If I had to make a list and this and that, sometimes Catching Fire and The Hunger Games, they might be kind of flip-flopped, but so I'm going to tell you what the book is basically about, and then I'm going to tell you my problems with it from book to movie, and I might end up going back to the first book and Catching Fire because of my complaints, it may be hard not to, so bear with me here. So we kind of have to go back to Catching Fire. So I'm sorry if you haven't read this or if you haven't seen the movie. You might consider it a spoiler, but it's been out for a while now. So in Catching Fire, at the end, Katniss escapes from the arena. She doesn't win this time. Basically, she escapes. But I guess it really doesn't matter how she gets out. It's just that, spoiler alert, she gets out of the arena again, okay? And at the end, she's on the hovercraft or whatever it's supposed to be, and she learns that District 12 has been destroyed and that they're going to District 13, which was supposed to have been destroyed before the Hunger Games were even ever created. And that, I think it was in that book that she found out that Peeta had been taken by the Capitol. It's either in that book or the very beginning of Mockingjay, but it kind of rolls into the next one, And so now in Mockingjay, she's in District 13. She basically knows now that Peeta is in the Capitol. He didn't make it, well, he had to make it out of the arena to be in the Capitol. But he's not going to 13 with her. So he's been kidnapped, him and Joanna. And she's really mad because Haymitch and everyone else pretended really not to care about the rebellion, the second rebellion basically that's been going on. And here, all along, they were plotting to get her out of the arena. And the President Coin of District 13 and the others, they want her to be the Mockingjay. They want her to be the symbol of the rebellion. And so she's like, there's going to be some rules. You are going to pardon Peeta. because Peeta was, like I said, kidnapped, and then he was brainwashed, and he was saying a whole bunch of stuff on TV with Caesar Flickerman and stuff like that, and so people thought he was this traitor. But she knows that he's being tortured and other things. So, and then she ends up going back to 12 because they want her to see, and I'm kind of like going from book to movie here because the book is told from the perspective of Katniss, but basically she wanted to see it. In the movie, in the background, they're kind of saying that she needs to see it from what I remember. So it kind of makes sense. In the book you would think it too. So anyways, basically the story, she goes back to 12 and she just sees all this devastation. Everything is gone, like Gale told her. But somehow the cat still lives, Buttercup, and she sneaks it back. So she's got these rules. Peeta and the others will be pardoned. Her sister gets to keep her cat and a whole bunch of other stuff, or else she won't be the Mockingjay. And at first, the president doesn't want to do any of that. But Katniss is like, you listen to this stuff or you find yourself a new Mockingjay. And, in the book, well, all the books are told from the point of view of Katniss, but and I really loved her as a narrator in the books because I just love first person point of view. I think it really helps develop just helps develop the character. You really, really get to know that character. And so basically they shoot these propaganda videos and then they go on to attack the Capitol. And I really can't say too much more than that without basically giving it away. That's basically the gist of it. She's in 13. She's the face of the rebellion. They're trying to get Peeta back. They eventually get Peeta back. Peeta is brainwashed and he tries to kill Katniss. And they're dealing with all this bullcrap, and then they are organizing basically an army to take on the Capitol. So, what do I think about this book and the movies? There's 2 movies that go with this. So, a lot of people said that it seemed rushed, kind of. And I kind of agree. It seems like she tried to jam-pack a lot into just a couple hundred or so pages. I know, or I've read somewhere that she's worked on television and stuff like that, so, it seems like she's written for the screen before. I mean, I don't think she wrote the movie itself, but I know she had a lot of influence going into it. And it just seems when she was writing the book, I mean, it's a book that you can really envision things, and I don't know when she wrote it, if she wrote all 3 before even the first movie came out. I'm not sure. I don't know that much history about it, but it almost kind of seems like she was really planning for this to be on the big screen. Just a lot of the scenes, it was like kind of reading an action movie almost. And that was fine. And it makes for a great movie. The scenes in the movie were fantastic. The acting was fantastic. I think certain points in the movie, I want to say that they dragged a little bit, but it was one of those movies that kind of went low in talking and then big sounds and explosions. So I'm like this with my remote because I have people sleeping because you have to turn it up to hear them talking, and then boom. It's like, oh my god. It's like talk louder in movies, people. Talk louder. Okay? But, yeah, I thought it was fantastic, the movie. Or both movies, actually. I kind of liked the second half better. I mean, it had a lot more action going on. Those mutations, oh my god, they were creepy. Ugh, they were some morbid looking little freaks. I think they did fantastic with those mutations. I mean, I was disappointed from the first Hunger Games when they changed the tribute mutations to digital dogs. Now, digital dogs were cool and everything, but it's just the fact that how morbid these people were, how sick and twisted they were, that they had kids killing other kids, and then they put their faces on mutations that came after them. And it's like, I was just so glad in Mockingjay Part 2 that they made these mutations, the ones that were underground, really scary looking, really demonic looking. I'm like, yes. So the acting was good, the action scenes were good. It still had that heart and that drama and everything. But there were things that I was disappointed with, both book and movie. And that's because, my thing is, okay, I get that for movies you have to change things. My problem was that certain aspects of the books I felt needed to be in the movies. Some of them were very short, and they could have fit in there, and they could have fit a little bit more dialogue. And I say this because, the book just gives you a better feel of the characters. They really do. Even the characters that aren't speaking. Just from Katniss's point of view. But I do think that the actors did a fantastic job in portraying them. But here's the major problem that book and movie are equal in. So we got to the end. Mockingjay's the end. And there's certain things that we just don't know. We haven't figured out, or nobody ever told us. I mean, they told us why, but then there's why of why, if that makes any sense at all. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm kind of losing where I'm at here. Okay, let's take the book. We know that Panem used to be North America. And we know why the Hunger Games was created. However, there are certain things that just don't add up. Like, how did the Capitol come into power? I mean, we have natural disasters all the time. We have tornadoes. We have hurricanes. We name hurricanes. We had Hurricane Katrina. We have tragedies and, other stuff. But the rich aren't paying to watch the poorer people die on screen. It's like, what happened that they were able to overpower people? How old is Panem? We don't know that. The Dark Days. We don't really know how long before the rebels, led by 13, rebelled against the district. How long were the people oppressed like that before they got into the war and then created the games? And what do these people do for a living? I'm not an expert on money and stuff like that, so I may be missing something. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. But the districts are the ones doing all the work. The Capitol does not. As far as I know, very few Capitol people have jobs. Most people, they have money because they have jobs, okay? I mean, there are a few people that got handed money and stuff like that. They do exist, but, even a lot of famous people and stuff, they had to, work for their money. But the Capitol, any jobs they have pretty much goes back to the Capitol. There's like no work or trading or anything. Does anybody, even in the capital, have they ever been outside of Panem? Do they even know if other countries still exist? You know what I mean? And it's like, are you ever allowed to leave your district? Like, are people totally cut off from each other? I don't remember if that was ever mentioned in the books at all. You know what I mean? And Snow. It's like Suzanne Collins made him like the major enemy, which he was. He was completely evil, and you've definitely seen that in the movie, and his, the portrayal of that was just fantastic. But here's the thing. The games have been going on for like 75 years, okay? And Mags was a child. She participated in the games because it's 12 to 18. So there's no way that Snow created the games. He may be a freaking lunatic and enjoy the games and enjoy the power, but we know it's pretty much impossible that he was there in creating it. Okay? I mean, they have a lot of advanced technology in the capital. However, no one's ever talked about being immortal. Okay? So he's an old guy. So, who the hell signed off on these games? Who? Who thought this was a good idea? Right? And then there's the Effie thing in the movie. Okay? And the movie doesn't cover any of that either. Okay? We don't get a back history of Panem in the book or the movie. Now, Effie. Effie was not in the book until the end. She, in the movie, replaced a character named Fulvia, I think her name was. And, okay, I get it. She kind of became an iconic figure in the movies, the hair, the dresses, and everything. But it pretty much felt like she just replaced the character. That was it. You just kind of swapped it out for aesthetic. I mean, it was Suzanne Collins' decision, and she is the author. But I really wanted to have a backstory for Effie. I wanted her to... I was waiting for this massive fight between her and a couple of the other capital people that were there, like Plutarch. And, oh my god, her name escapes me right now, but there was Boggs, which I think he was Avox, so he couldn't talk. But then there was the girl that kind of had like the shaven head and everything that was supposed to be for the capital, and be from the capital. Sorry. And the thing is that we know that not everyone in the capital is bad, and not everyone in the capital or the districts are good. Like the career districts, I mean, they pretty much raise their kids to go into the games. They're about as worse as some of the people in the capital. But then you have people like the girl I just mentioned, or Plutarch, or Cinna. And, they know that watching or making parents watch their children die for sport and other stuff is wrong, and they are from the capital. However, there's people like Effie who took pride in picking out these children's names, taking them to their victory tour and other such things. I understand that in the story that Effie became close to Katniss and Peeta. However, again, for years this woman watched children die and pretty much thought nothing of it. And I was waiting for this big realization that Effie would have, and for this big blown out fight to happen. And I want to know her thoughts on the games and why she believed in them so much like she did, and what changed her mind now. Why does she even care? Like I said, I understand she became close to the kids. However, again, she spent years with children, and they never came back. So, basically, I did enjoy the story. I, enjoyed Katniss's narrative. I enjoyed the emotion in it, the, the rebellion, the everything. The movie, like I said, just full of action, all that good stuff, great graphics, scary mutations. I mean, it was really good. I don't hate Mockingjay. It's my least favorite, but I still thought it was a good story. I just thought she could have expanded a little bit more, maybe not have dragged on with something so much like she did. And if you're going to change things in a movie, do something with it. If you're gonna switch a character, give that character a backstory. Give them a little bit more something than just being there. So that is what I have to say for Mockingjay, and I'm going to stop babbling now. So tell me your thoughts. What did you think? And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. By the way, I will be linking my other social medias because I'm going to start blogging more, which I have been. Yesterday I just blogged my Mockingjay review, so I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing some things like written Friday Fives and other stuff. I'll still be doing my videos, but I just want to get more into blogging too. So you'll be able to see videos and blogs. So please check out the blogs below. Blogger, Twitter, Tumblr, stuff like that. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.